Well, hello, friends. Shockingly, today, it is 2 weeks today until Thanksgiving. I don't know about you, but this is the season of exploding expectations for me. So I wanted to send out a couple of short lessons in the next couple of weeks about how we can speak up about the expectations in our lives. Well, first of all, I want to start with a definition of expectations. This is something I dug into deep in Exhale, but I'm still learning the lesson. So I'm going to read you the definition from Exhale. Put simply, setting a boundary means choosing God's direction over someone's expectation. And sometimes that someone's me. That's what I'm going to talk about today. By living with this definition, seeking God's direction for everything we do and say, we can find the lines that will preserve our time, our energy, our finances, and our sanity. It's simple, but definitely not easy. So today I want to address the expectations that we put on ourselves and how to handle those. Next week, I'll talk about the expectations that other people want to put on us and how we can speak up and address those as well. So today I'm kind of talking about self-talk, speaking to ourselves. What do we do with all the expectations that we put on ourselves for the holiday? Well, the first thing that we have to do before we say anything to ourselves is that we have to assess the expectations. See, there are two kinds of expectations in our lives, whether they're coming from ourselves or from outside, from other people. There are reasonable expectations and there are unreasonable expectations. Reasonable expectations are those expectations that we absolutely should carry through on. We should do something about. The truth is that all of us have things in our lives that we may not love to do or want to do, but that God has called us to, and we have to look for his direction. We have to ask him, God, is this an assignment that you are giving me? Is this a duty that you're giving me? In terms of our parents, which my age group, we're thinking a lot about how to honor our aging parents these days. If we're thinking about our parents, the expectation is we have to think about, God, is this the way that I am called to honor my parents? There are reasonable expectations in our lives. We can't just throw off everything that is expected of us. But then there are unreasonable expectations too. These are the things that we should not be doing. They are not God's assignment for us. So we have to determine between the two, what's a reasonable expectation, what's an unreasonable expectation. So I want to give you an assignment. I'm going to give you one to-do step every week, the next 2 weeks, to manage expectations. And here's your assignment. Ask your people. Sometimes it is really hard to figure out what we're putting on ourselves and what other people really even want. So based on some advice that I got from several friends over the years, last year, during the shutdown, we went to just a small restaurant. We met my adult son that's married. Halfway, my other adult son was home for a while during the lockdown, and we met in the middle at a restaurant safely. And I had one question I wanted to ask them. What do you want for Christmas this year? What would make Christmas special for you? Or you can include Thanksgiving. We've got time. What would make the holiday special for you? That's the question to ask your people. It was shocking, y'all. Now, I have a long list of things I love to do for the holidays. Cooking, decorating. I don't ever love cooking, but I do it. Cooking, decorating, buying gifts, scheduling things, all kinds of things that go on the calendar. And do you know, my youngest son is the best picture of how my own expectation for the holidays are a burden that I don't need to bear. So Nolan, my youngest, thought for a minute, and he was very serious, and he goes, oh, I know. And I was like, okay, tell me. And I had a pen ready and my paper ready. And he goes, a cinnamon candle. He's like, I always love those cinnamon candles that you burn at Christmas time. That makes it seem like Christmas. Really, y'all? A cinnamon candle? That's it? That's all I had to do to fulfill the wildest dreams of my youngest son? Evidently so. Now, I did a little more than that, but you know what his answer did? It released me from some of the expectations I had piled on myself that were unnecessary. And so I could say to myself, self, those are unreasonable expectations. Let them go. So today, I want to encourage you. Assess your expectations of the holidays by asking your people, and then speak to yourself about those unnecessary expectations, those unreasonable expectations, and let them go. This is tip number 1 for managing expectations in the holidays and speaking up to ourselves about those crazy, out of bounds, unreasonable, burdening expectations we've been carrying for the holidays. Have a good one, and I'll see you next week.